Today on Studio One, classic automobiles will never go out of style. We'll visit with some people who make chrome and leather a priority. Also, we'll tell you about a man who makes a living keeping your feet comfortable. We'll spend a day in the life of a shoe repairman. And the news team will tell us about a special laboratory on wheels.
From the University of North Dakota with Monty Cashel and Beth Martin, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone and welcome to Studio One.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. Well, I'm sure you've heard the song London Bridge is Falling Down.
Yes, I did. And you did. That's really good.
Well, I won't sing the whole thing for you, but do you know where the actual London Bridge is now?
No, I don't.
There was London Bridge. No, it's not in London anymore. It's now in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Really?
Yep, the actual bridge was pulled down. It didn't fall down. And it exists today. In 1962, it started to fall down, and so it ended up that the city of Lake Havasu bought it, and they transferred it over 10,000 miles to Arizona and rebuilt it from there. So,
really?
Yep, and now you can go see it today and actually
So you don't even have to travel overseas to see London Bridge anymore?
It's in America now, so kind of
imagine that. We got a great show for you, and coming up, many people dream of walking on the moon. We'll talk with a woman who has made that task her goal.
And a special occasion just isn't complete without one. We'll show you how you can create your own beautiful wedding cake later in the show.
But first, today's news with Molly Ouimet.
Thank you, Monty and Beth. A Senate committee is examining the factors that are pushing pump prices higher. Gas prices in the nation's capital are at a record high, and Washington isn't alone. Prices have spiked nationwide. One gas station owner in Wisconsin is using his sense of humor to display today's prices. But in Washington, things are more serious. The Senate committee is examining federal regulations and the three major energy markets: petroleum, natural gas, and electricity.
Shortages in all three major energy sectors are a perfect storm of simultaneously converging market disruptions that could yield a profound crisis for the entire U.S. economy.
As gas price levels rise, so do the floodwaters of the Midwest. Water levels remain high, and residents are working hard to keep their cities dry after more than a week of flooding along the Mississippi. The city of Davenport, Iowa is using makeshift sandbag levees as a temporary wall. Davenport is the only major city along the upper Mississippi without a permanent wall. According to the National Weather Service, the upper Mississippi is expected to stay above flood levels through the end of May. The recent scare of diseased livestock in Europe is causing fewer Americans to buy meat here in the U.S. The reason for this is not because they are afraid of contracting diseases, but because of the cost. Foot and mouth disease has stopped the meat supply from coming from Europe. With the demand for meat remaining strong in the U.S., the price of meat has gone up. However, many Americans are willing to pay a few extra dollars to get their beef.
I did have a person inquire when they ordered a side of beef. I said, it's really high right now. I don't know if you're going to want to purchase it. And he said he didn't care as long as it wasn't from Europe.
Paul says all the products they receive in their store are inspected by the government and marked, so they know where the meat came from before it is sold. A new program may shorten the wait for kidney transplant patients. A program called Hope Through Sharing moves patients up the waiting list if one of their relatives donates a kidney to someone else. This program helps patients who aren't able to receive a kidney from one of their own family members. In some cases, the time a patient waits for a kidney can be reduced from a couple of years to just a few weeks. It does not affect the time that others have to wait. The program is currently limited to the New York area, but is expected to be adopted in other parts of the country. Nutrition researchers have had difficulty studying some groups of people. Since many people live far from research labs, it can be sometimes nearly impossible. That has all changed with the introduction of the latest mobile nutrition laboratory. It allows the equipment to be brought to them.
From the outside, this may look like an ordinary RV, but inside it is a high-tech nutrition laboratory. Researchers from the Human Nutrition Research Center in Grand Forks, North Dakota, have been working on the project for some time. They are now celebrating the long-awaited opening of the Mobile Research Center.
We actually began trying to obtain some kind of mobile testing facility almost 10 years ago. And at that time, we were simply going to try to get a small van and go from one place to another.
More than a decade later, they have a state-of-the-art facility. The bus has high-tech equipment on board, such as an X-ray machine and facilities to chemically test blood. The bus gives researchers the ability to go to groups of people who would usually be out of reach, such as the elderly, children, and Native Americans. The nutritional information collected can be used to fight many diseases and improve fitness and health.
The mobile unit will have a tremendous beneficial impact on our research because we will be able to do research with people that we couldn't do before.
Together with financing from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and support from Congress, the effort to get the mobile unit has been a success.
This lab is going to take us from a laboratory base to really getting it out to all the people who need this information. It's a tremendous improvement for the center.
Researchers are hoping to use the bus in their studies by the end of May, giving them a chance to reach people they could never reach before. Reporting for Studio One News, this is Anita Ramdhari.
The Department of Agriculture will be using the bus to study adolescent eating patterns and Native American diets later this year. And that is news for now. Monty and Beth.
Thanks, Molly. We've had an absolute turnaround in the weather.
I know, it's been great. So let's see how long our luck will last. Let's go to the Regional Weather Information Center with Adam Caskey to see what it looks like for our future here.
Well, I'm going to start us off with a little fact here. Yesterday, with our very above average warm temperatures, we were 4 degrees warmer than Miami, Florida, here in Grand Forks, North Dakota. But currently, right now, we are quite a bit cooler than that. But today, our almanac data, average high is 58. So far, we've seen a high of 64, and that's what we're sitting at right now. Low today, 36. That's right at average. And precip, we are 1/4 of an inch above average so far this month of April. Sunset, 8:34 p.m., so the days are continuing to get longer, and that will happen quite a bit through spring. Beautiful outside right now. Sunny skies, 64 degrees, dew point 34, relative humidity 32%, so it's fairly dry out there. Really not much moisture for the atmosphere to work with right now. Regionally, get this, Fargo, 67 degrees and sunny right now. 4 days ago, they received 7.2 inches of snow. Not hearing any complaints from the folks down in Fargo. Now, currently over our area, as we fly on in, here's a cold front that dropped our temperatures from yesterday. It slid through our area tonight and left in its wake an air mass of much cooler temperatures, about 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. But mostly sunny and high pressure off to our northwest, which is bringing us our sunny skies. Nationally, sunshine across the board. High pressure dominating, bringing the fair weather, and sunny all over the place. A little bit of rain here and there. Great Lakes region, they're seeing just a little bit of sprinkles and showers here and there. Same story with the Pacific Northwest, just scattered showers. Now, forecast for Friday. High pressure is going to move off to the east, but we will remain sunny here, and our temperatures will be pretty warm. Now, Grand Forks forecast in detail for you. High of 70 degrees, low of 39, and here's that big sunshine for you. Plenty of sun for everyone. Get out and enjoy it after work, after school, whatever. Go golfing, go to the park, go for a jog, whatever it is, take advantage of this lovely weather. Wind out of the southeast, gusting up to 20 miles per hour. If you want any more weather information, check us out at rwic.und.edu. Well, Monty, Beth, the weekend is shaping up pretty nicely, but you'll have to stick around for the details later on in the show.
All right, thanks, Adam. Well, it's nice. He said that the days are getting longer now. It's so nice to sit outside while it's still, light out. When
and all those options he gave, he didn't say people could go fishing, but I'm going to go fishing, I think.
True, yep.
There's a lot of sports going on in the springtime now, and we have some baseball on tap with sports. James DeGelder.
Thanks, Monty and Beth. 2 of the top pitchers for 2 of the league's hottest teams went head-to-head last night. Pedro Martinez of the Boston Red Sox and Brad Radke of the Minnesota Twins squared off in Fenway Park. Top of the first inning, Martinez strikes out Matt Lawton, then Denny Hawking goes down, and finally he gets David Ortiz swinging. Martinez would have 10 strikeouts and a no decision. Top of the 10th, bases loaded for Torrey Hunter, who pulls one down the line, driving in all 3 runs. The Twins would go on to win 6-4 and improve their impressive record of 15-4. Cubs at the Rockies, bottom 7, Todd Helton jumps on Heredia's slider, takes it deep to right and over the wall for his 2nd homer of the game to make it 5-4 Rockies. Now bottom of the 9th, scorers tied with the bases loaded, and Spurlow hits the deep fly ball to center field where Damon Buford is waiting to make the catch. But he makes the 4th throw to home to try to get Shumpert, who scores a winning run. Rockies win 6-5. NBA playoffs, Orlando at Milwaukee. 2nd quarter, McGrady steals the ball and finishes off the pretty slam. 53-51 Bucks at the half. At one point, McGrady scored 20 straight points for the Magic. 3rd quarter, Cassell gets the ball to Robinson, who drains the big 3. The Bucks go on to win 103-96 and take a 2-0 series lead over the Magic. With the arrival of spring in the upper Midwest, thousands of golfers will soon be out on the fairways. This means right now, many are trying to get their swings ready for the golf season. A driving range is one of the best places for golfers to work on improving their abilities before playing on an actual course. There they can hit ball after ball in hopes of fine-tuning their swing. But one golf coach says it's important to practice the right way.
A lot of people think they can take a lesson and get the proper technique and it'll fall right into place. It doesn't work that easily, you know. You need to practice proper techniques to develop a proper swing.
Stiles also says many people don't understand that staying in shape is another very important way to improve your golf game. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. This week's question is, name the first team to have 3 players score at least 50 goals in the same season. Is it the Montreal Canadiens, Boston Bruins, Pittsburgh Penguins, or the Edmonton Oilers? The answer to that question and more sports will come in the second half of the show. Monty and Beth?
Thank you, James. One man has made it his career to celebrate humanity. He has focused his photography on one of our neighboring countries. We'll show you what he's done.
And she traveled across the country to learn what life is like in space. We'll talk with someone who has had an out-of-this-world experience next.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Your future is waiting at the University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration. The technology you need to succeed is available. Education is enhanced through computer labs and interactive video network studios. Students experience real-life situations by being consultants to small businesses. Our students bring innovation and creativity to help clients overcome business challenges. Build your future at UND's College of Business and Public Administration. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
Hey, you can get free checking at Community National Bank. Really? Free checking with no service charges, no minimum balance, unlimited check writing. And because Community National Bank cares about you, there's overdraft privilege that can cover your overdrafts up to $300. That helps you manage your funds and saves you time and money. Really? Free checking and overdraft protection from Community National Bank.
Get shopping, get down to basics. Perfume, tennis shoes, dollar ring, cereals. Wearing it, using it, living it, loving it. Gotta get to it.
Everything's new in the spring at Columbia Mall. Fashions and styles, music, and anything just for fun. This spring, get shopping at Columbia Mall. We've got the stores and the styles you want.
Get shopping, Columbia. It's springtime at Columbia.
You're watching Studio One. News, weather, sports, and entertainment.
The United States space program has an interesting history. There's a space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, where kids can learn all about being an astronaut. Space counselor Andrea Hanson is here to tell us about the camp and her experiences there. Thank you for coming on the show today, Andrea.
Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about the camp. Why do they have such a thing?
Wow, there are many people interested in this space program. This is just a chance for students to go through a mini crash course in what an astronaut might do while training for a mission.
Okay. Who participates in the program?
Mostly students ages 9 to 18 is the majority of our camp, although families can participate as well.
Okay. And you were a camp counselor there,
Yes.
and it was a great experience for you. How did you ever get involved with that?
I've been interested in the space program for the last few years, and a good friend of mine had worked down there the summer before and talked me into it, so I tried it out and loved it. It was wonderful.
What did you have to do to get in?
It's just an application process. You send down an application and a video and tell a little about yourself and why you're interested, and they just review those and pick about 200 out of all the applicants.
Okay, and then you had to go through some special training probably for that?
Right, yeah, they put us to 3 weeks of intense training to get us ready to teach the students, and so make sure that we know what we're talking about before the kids come in.
Okay, why is this site so impressive? Tell me a little bit about the place where you were working.
Wow, Space Camp is just one of the most fun places I've ever been. They have many different facilities where you can train. The simulators are unbelievable. Some of them are up to 80% of what an actual shuttle would be. We have the only full-scale model of an actual space shuttle in the world, so that's pretty cool too.
Okay, and what's special about that unique model? Is it to scale then?
Yep,
and
it's full size.
Do you get to go and practice inside that shuttle?
No, we don't get to go in this one. It was made for testing purposes, so there's no seats or buttons or switches inside.
Okay. What kind of simulators do you get to use?
Besides the shuttles, where you get to sit in the cockpit and walk around the cargo areas, we have a multi-axis trainer, which simulates a re-entry spin into the atmosphere. And we have a 1/6 chair, which simulates how it would feel like to walk on the moon.
Okay, what is this one here we're seeing? Is that the one where you're walking on the moon?
Yep, this is, yep. When you're sitting in this chair, it's connected to a series of springs on the ceiling, and you just bounce around on it, and you're about 1/6 of what you would weigh without the springs. So.
Really? So all the kids get a chance to be in on this?
Yep.
Okay. What are they working toward?
During the week, we put them through a lot of different training. We go through many missions, and they work towards a 6-hour mission at the end of the week.
Okay. And we're seeing a picture right now of the students sitting at, looks like some sort of control board.
Yep, it's mission control right now. These students are in their 6-hour mission right now, and they're either directing someone out in the cargo bay or someone on the space station.
Okay, and I'm looking at the last person in the end there. He has a patch over his eye, and you put that patch there
Yes.
indirectly. Could you explain what happens with that?
Sure. During these 6-hour missions, we have medical anomalies, they're called, and we give them different situations where, say, they might fall down the stairs in mission control, or they will have some space motion sickness, say, up in the space shuttle, and they're going to have to react to those, and that particular person was maybe hit on the head or something and needed a little bandage.
Okay, so is that the only kind of anomaly that happens that you throw at them?
No, there are also technical anomalies where, say, we'll plant a fire somewhere or pretend fire in the space shuttle or in the space station, and they'll have to find that and dispose of it properly.
Okay, now what about the type of students that go through this? What is the typical kid that would walk into the space camp in Huntsville?
The typical kid. Well, we get a large variety of coming through there. A lot of them are very interested in the space program and want to be astronauts when they grow up, which is very cool. They are there because they love science, they love space, and this is something they really want to do. Then we get some that just come back every year because they love it. It's so much fun. They get to meet kids from all over the world there.
Do you see a change in the kids that come through the camp from the beginning to the end?
Yes, definitely. During the week, we do a lot with team building, group dynamics. They come in most of the time not knowing anyone else, and so from day 1 to day 5, they're just together 24/7, and they really learn to work together and form some strong friendships.
Okay. Are most of these students that are going through this, is it a scholarship type of situation for them, or do they pay themselves?
Most of them pay themselves. A few are sponsored through their schools, through different organizations. Some come in as groups, but for the most part, it's just they come on their own.
Okay. What is the criteria to get in for the students?
Just to simply sign up and get your time when you want. The summer sessions fill up quickly, so many people sign up halfway through the year or 6 months earlier to get the time that they want to come.
Okay. Now, what about yourself? After going through this experience at Space Camp and being a counselor and working with space technology, what's in your future? Are you looking to get up into the big black space up there?
Yes, that is a dream of mine. I'd love to work on the International Space Station someday.
Okay.
That is really what I want to do.
Do you have any specific goal with that?
Just, I guess, help out with whatever research they're doing up there at the time. I have a few years to go, so by then, who knows what they'll be studying, but I'd really like to make a large contribution to that.
Good. Well, thank you very much for sharing this unique experience with us, Andrea. It was good meeting you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Darkness takes over in a new movie. We'll preview the newest vampire film, The Forsaken, next. But first, rarely do we think of the condition of our souls. Our shoe soles, that is. One man has dedicated his life to just that. We'll spend a day in the life of a shoe repairman.
The University of North Dakota's Division of Continuing Education can help you learn throughout your lifetime. Begin or continue your education through correspondence study, extended degree programs, and extension courses. For your personal or professional growth, we offer conferences as well as courses in dietary management and real estate.
We invite you to contact us at the Division of Continuing Education to discuss your learning opportunities.
Call us or look us up on the World Wide Web.
The University of North Dakota has a rich history of retaining and graduating American Indian students. UND offers 26 American Indian programs, more than any other higher education institution in the U.S. The support services provided by Native American programs enhance student success. Native American programs offer tutoring, academic advising, and financial aid assistance, which makes UND a leader in Indian education. For more information, call 1-800-CALL-UND.
The classes they're great, professors are wonderful. Everything about this university is high quality.
The best thing about UND is that there's so many ways to get involved in the university community, so it really makes it a nice place to be.
Campus is very beautiful. The friendly professors and staff, it really does become a close-knit community.
UND is more than just the college itself. I mean, you learn more than just an education here. They provide so many experiences and opportunities for you that's just incredible.
In today's consumer society, we are used to throwing away things when they are broken or worn out. There is one person who disagrees with this convenient way of living. Today, we are going to spend a day in the life of a shoe repairman.
Okay, pulling down any nails. And we do the same thing to the other one. It's hard to make a living nowadays as a shoe repairman because the shoes are so cheaply made and made overseas, but I've been doing this for almost 30 years, so, you know, it's my life. And cut the hassle. It's just really satisfying to take a beat-up old pair of shoes, and when you're done with them, and they look like brand new, that person at the counter says, I can't believe that you made these look that way. These are beautiful. They are better than what they were when I bought them. Well, now, you can't get a better compliment than that. I mean, you know what, it just makes you even feel good. I've fixed these a dozen times already. I just completely redid the bottom here and made them into a winter boot with a tread on it. But this is a handmade pair of boots, at least 15 years old, custom made. Doesn't have to be fancy. A lot of times at night I forgot to take my boots off because, you know, it's 9, 10 o'clock and the wife says, take your boots off. What's wrong with you? Well, that's because they're so comfortable during the day that I don't have any feet problems, you know. Good arch support, good leather, they breathe. Nothing better. You make them look like new again. I mean, it can't be any better than that. That's gratifying.
One of the sewing machines Danny uses has more than 1,500 moving parts. They all have to be timed perfectly to make a single stitch in a shoe sole. This spring, the night has an appetite. The new movie, The Forsaken, features Kerr Smith as Sean, who travels across the United States. On the way to his sister's wedding, Sean encounters a vampire hunter named Nick, played by Brendan Fair. The two continue towards Florida until they find a woman who is left for dead by vampires. Nick leads the trio through the country in his search for the forsaken vampires. Eventually, Sean becomes a victim, and Nick is forced to save his newfound friend. Kerr Smith and Brendan Fair previously teamed up in the movie Final Destination. They also both have had roles in sitcoms on the Warner Brothers network. The Forsaken is written and directed by J.S. Cardone. Look for The Forsaken in theaters starting April 27th. Now time to look at the events happening in your area.
A recent Gallup poll reports 4 out of 10 young teens admit to cheating on exams. It also shows these figures rise to 5 in 10 for older teens. More than half of teens report cheating goes on a great deal or fair amount. We wanted your thoughts on whether or not people's values in general are declining.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're decreasing. In the past few decades, I'd say it's probably going to become a problem in the future too.
I think that they're decreasing with students, but I think that they're also decreasing with everybody. I think that it's more accepted among adults now, so that they are sort of just falling right into line.
Well, not significantly, but there is some relaxation, and it has to do with neighborhoods, community, and the fact that we're more anonymous.
I think moral values are decreasing everywhere, in everything, from young to old. It's me world.
Schools have no authority to punish kids even lightly anymore. The morals aren't allowed to be taught anymore, because if you try to teach morals, you're trying to teach Christian principles, which are supposed to be wrong nowadays.
The Cuban Revolution in 1959 saw the end to a corrupt and oppressive regime. One photographer was there to document the optimistic beginning of Fidel Castro's rule. 40 years later, these images are still dynamic and powerful.
Che Guevara's picture is still seen as a symbol of defiance and strength. The photographer Dakota received little recognition then, but now his photos are recognized as works of art.
Todo ese trabajo lo he hecho con amor.
And all the work he did was out of love and not for money.
Dakota started working as a fashion photographer until the overthrow of Fulgencio Baptista's government. That's when Corda's talent for documenting came into play. For 12 years, he was the official photographer of Fidel Castro. Corda's passion is capturing images that arouse strong emotions. He works only with his camera and natural lighting.
And he only used natural light in all the photography of the revolution, with perhaps the exception of only once or twice when he was photographing at night and had to use some other source of illumination, but very rarely.
Even for the fashion shoots, he used sunlight coming in through the window. Corda has dedicated his life to photography, and his inspiration comes from the lines of a book called The Little Prince.
Solo se ve con el corazón.
One can only see with the heart.
Lo esencial es invisible para los ojos.
Because the essential is invisible to the eyes.
At age 71, Corda is traveling the world with his famous exhibition. His images are rediscovered by new generations, and he continues to stand out as one of the most important documentary photographers of our time. Reporting for Studio One, I am Elin Marion Eriksson.
Alberto Corda says he's proud of what Cuba has achieved, but if he can choose where to go next, he would love to go to outer space and ponder about life's mysteries. Some say spring is the season for new romance. With that comes weddings. One woman puts plenty of time, energy, and frosting into wedding gifts she makes for others. We'll visit with her later. Plus, classic cars are the pride and joy of some collectors. They can spend more than $100,000 restoring the past. That's story plus news, sports, and the updated weather forecast in the next half hour of Studio One.
Future a bit cloudy? Get a brighter picture at UND Aerospace and the University of North Dakota. World-class training programs endorsed by major airlines, an extraordinary fleet of aircraft, and learning facilities second to none make UND Aerospace the largest collegiate aviation program in North America. Begin your future in the aviation industry. Explore programs in space studies or computer science. Soar into the atmospheric sciences. It's all here at UND Aerospace. What's in your future? UND Aerospace, clearly the leader in aviation education.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
School of Engineering Minds is we're kind of one close-knit community.
everybody's friendly. You're not just, you know, a name in the crowd or a number.
I've always wanted to do engineering. What we're learning here is just hands-on.
The department has been very good about acquiring the resources we need.
I think that through this project I've gained a lot of the team working skills, leadership.
A campus that supports a wide range of degrees gives you a nice ability to round out your education in a variety of areas.
Students from any major can build a great future through the entrepreneurship programs in the College of Business and Public Administration at the University of North Dakota.
It lets them meet with business people and spread their wings and do the research to see if their ideas really do work.
Well, this program is for everybody. Business coincides and integrates with any major out there.
Trust yourself. Take action. Discover the entrepreneurship programs at the UND College of Business and Public Administration.
You're watching Studio One. News, weather, sports, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome back to Studio One.
Thank you for joining us today. We've got a good 30 minutes of show left, but before we get to that, almost everybody has heard of the Pez dispensers with the little candies inside. It's usually the head of a cartoon character or something. You pull the head back and a candy shoots out. Well, the interesting fact here that I'm going to tell you is where the word Pez came from. It was actually from Germany. It's a German word that got shortened. And I'm going to do really bad on the pronunciation of this probably, but it's the word peppermint in German, which is Pfefferminz. And they took the first, middle, and last letters out of Pfefferminz, and you got Pez. Now, if you're a Pez collector, because these dispensers, they can be upwards to $4,000 if you have a really old one, a valuable one. If you collect them, you're a Pez head.
Okay, are you a Pez head?
I'm not a Pez head, but there are people out there who are proud to be Pez heads.
All right.
Well, coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, we'll tell you about a program that is allowing teachers to take a break from teaching and take on the role of student.
And cars and trucks have changed greatly through the years. Some people find an old wreck in a junkyard and return it to a near perfect condition. We'll visit a classic car show.
And you don't have to be a professional to learn our next guest's craft. She taught herself how to make beautiful cakes. She'll show us how she does it later, but first, today's news with Molly Ouimet.
Thank you, Monty and Beth. Former Senator Bob Kerrey is responding today to allegations that he ordered troops to fire on civilians during the Vietnam War. Kerrey led a mission that was responsible for killing more than 20 civilians. Fellow Navy SEAL told the New York Times and CBS that Kerrey ordered the squad to kill the civilians. Kerrey says there were killings, but they were accidental. But he says he still feels guilty. Senator John Kerry spoke out today on behalf of his friend and fellow Vietnam veteran.
You know, this has haunted me for a long time. People died innocently as a consequence of something we were doing. I think people need to remember the history and remember how difficult it was.
In other news, President Bush is receiving tough criticism from China. Chinese officials say Bush's decision this week to sell Taiwan a substantial weapons package proves that he is reversing promises made by former presidents. Also, Bush's pledge to defend Taiwan has reignited tensions between Washington and Beijing. China claims that because of his recent decisions, Bush is leading his country on a dangerous road. The water you drink will soon face tougher federal standards. After heavy criticism from environmentalists, President Bush has decided to set stricter standards on arsenic in drinking water. The National Academy of Sciences says arsenic in drinking water can cause bladder, lung, and skin cancer. Water treatment officials say it is important to have a detection process, but that most of the health problems related to arsenic are from long-term exposure. They say by setting stricter limits, it will satisfy the public and environmentalists.
I do feel it's necessary to look for arsenic or look for contaminants just for your own peace of mind. And I think some level of monitoring isn't a bad situation to have.
The Bush administration will most likely settle at an arsenic level of 20 parts per billion. Current federal standard is 50 parts per billion. After 12 years of trying, research veterinarians may have finally succeeded in artificially inseminating a killer whale. It took place at SeaWorld in San Diego, where a killer whale is due to deliver in August. If the baby is delivered, it will be the first successful artificial insemination of a killer whale. The baby whale's chances look good so far, since the calf is moving around in the uterus. Killer whales are not endangered, but this method would allow for breeding between animals in different parts of the country. Teachers around the country are going back to the classroom as students. Teachers as Scholars is one program that gives educators the opportunity to learn more about subjects they may not be familiar with.
I had my thumb in the index though.
Fran Berg has been a teacher for 27 years. She teaches English to high schoolers. This year, she decided to take a few days off to become a student herself. She's taken part in the Teachers as Scholars program. At this seminar, she's learning more about prairie and wetland landscapes.
I think it's great. I really didn't know what to expect, but I'm finding it very relaxing.
The program is for those who teach kindergarten through high school. They participate in seminars led by science, humanities, and social science professors. Glenda Crawford, a sociology professor at the University of North Dakota, is holding one of the seminars with her husband, who is a wildlife biologist. She says this program does not just benefit the participants.
It's been amazing because some of the insights that they've shared have also helped me to continue reframing my own thinking. So they've helped in my own growing process.
The focus of this program is teacher scholarship and not classroom practice. Teachers are encouraged to pick seminar topics that do not necessarily touch on the subjects they teach, such as this one on changes in wetlands. One participant says she is sharing what she has learned with students.
I mean, already I'm going to cut the little branch off the tree and show them the star inside, and some of the books they have on display I plan on using.
Some teachers say these seminars help make sure that as they continue to teach, their learning never stops. With photographer Chris Hovden, I'm Nina Jacobson, reporting for Studio One News. Teachers as Scholars first started at Harvard University 5 years ago. Since then, universities around the country have adopted the program. It's sponsored by the Woodrow Wilson National Fellowship Foundation. And that is news for today. Monty and Beth?
Thank you, Molly. Well, Adam was hinting at a nice forecast.
I know he had some good news earlier in the program.
Yeah.
Let's see if we still have any luck with the weather. We'll go to the Regional Weather Information Center once again with Adam Caskey.
Well, actually, Monty and Beth, yesterday we topped out at 78 degrees, and since then we hadn't seen 70 degrees since October 19th, which is about a half a year ago. Right now we're quite a bit cooler than that, 63 with a dew point of 34. Relative humidity is still pretty low, not much moisture out there, 73%, but beautifully sunny skies still. That will carry on into tomorrow and even on through the weekend. Now, Saturday, people have been asking me all week, Adam, what's it going to be like Saturday for SpringFest? What's it going to be like? Well, one word for you, warmer and mostly sunny. There will be a few scattered clouds out there, but mostly sunny, beautiful weather, warmer highs in the 70s. But Sunday, there will be a little shift in our weather as a cold front slides in from the west. Behind it, mostly clear skies, but it will be slightly cooler, about 8 to 10 degrees cooler. And on the front side of it here, we will have a pretty unstable atmosphere. And don't be surprised if you hear a few claps of thunder on the day Sunday. Here's a look at the weekend for you. Friday, pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw today, sunny and 70. Saturday and Sunday, 76. Meanwhile, Monday, after that front slides through, it will be cooler with a high of 69. Monty and Beth?
All right, thanks, Adam. So I'm excited for that. I'm happy with the warm weather. At least we're staying in the 60s.
Everybody can get out and start grilling.
That's right.
Or tailgating.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's go now to sports with James DeGelder.
Thanks, Monty and Beth. The game is the same, but the equipment is different. In college, players use aluminum bats, while the pros use the traditional wooden ones. This has made college baseball a bit different than the pro game.
Did you hear the difference? The second hit was with an aluminum bat. Including the sound, there are many differences between wooden bats and aluminum ones. One of them is the scoring, which tends to be much higher with aluminum bats.
That's what drives people into the seats. You know, they want to see those high-scoring games, the home runs, and you're just not going to see that with the wood bats at the college level.
The head baseball coach at the University of North Dakota agrees.
They want to see some offensive production. They want to see balls hit far and long and plenty of them, and I think that's what the aluminum bat provides us with.
There are also other reasons why college baseball uses aluminum bats instead of wooden bats.
Feasibility, durability, and availability are the three problems that we run into in college baseball with the wood bats.
Ziegler says using wood bats can be very expensive. He says it's possible for a team to go through a dozen wood bats a week, and the outcome of that is not good.
That could kill a baseball budget in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, then what do? Do you cut back on days played? Do you cut back on equipment? Do you cut back on uniforms, travel, food money?
Another issue with aluminum bats versus wooden bats is the high risk of injury among infielders. The ball will travel much faster off an aluminum bat than a wooden one. Baseball bat companies have tried to reduce this trampoline effect of aluminum bats, hoping to decrease the speed of the ball. But despite the downside to aluminum bats, the high cost of wood bats means you'll still hear this each time you see a college game. I am Harald Svarstad, reporting for Studio One Sports.
Ziegler says professional baseball scouts want college baseball players to convert to wooden bats. Then the players won't need to adjust their game so much before going to the pros. It's now time for the answer to this week's Studio One Sports trivia question. This week's question is, name the first team to have 3 players score at least 50 goals in the same season. It's the Canadiens, Bruins, Penguins, or Oilers. And the answer to the question is D, the Edmonton Oilers. And the players that accomplished that feat were Wayne Gretzky, Glenn Anderson, and Jari Kurri, and they did it back in the 1983-84 season. That's the sports for today. Monty and Beth.
Thank you, James. Wedding cakes can range from traditional to contemporary. One woman has chosen to create that sort of edible art in her spare time. She'll show us how she does it next.
But first, that new car smell is something almost everyone can relate to. But what about that new old car smell? You might find such a thing at a classic car show. We'll have that story next on Studio One.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business, industry, or organization with our workforce development services. Our experts work closely with you to diagnose the workforce development needs of your business and develop practical solutions for your organization. The Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in strategic planning, workforce surveys, training plan development, and grant writing. Workforce Development, a service of the University of North Dakota. Call 777-2313.
The University of North Dakota has a rich history of retaining and graduating American Indian students. UND offers 26 American Indian programs, more than any other higher education institution in the U.S. The support services provided by Native American programs enhance student success. Native American programs offer tutoring, academic advising, and financial aid assistance, which makes UND a leader in Indian education. For more information, call 1-800-CALL-UND.
What do you want to accomplish? How does the future look? Do you have goals? We have goals. They involve serving students, faculty, the community, and society. Our reputation depends on how well we teach our students. We want to equip you for success. Are you ready to succeed? The University of North Dakota's College of Business and Public Administration is ready to help build your future. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
You're watching Studio One, twice named the best college television show in the nation by the National Association of College Broadcasters.
They are loved by men and women and admired by children. They are also equipped with custom-built engines, eye-catching chrome, and polished surfaces. I'm talking about custom-built cars. These cars attract enthusiasts who admire each other's vehicles and show off their own.
Randy Hatch really loves his wife and his car. He is the proud father of a 23T Roadster, which is on display at this car show.
We usually try and hit from 15 to 20 shows a year throughout the summer. And normally we drive to all the shows, so it's not a trailer queen or anything like that.
A trailer queen is car lingo for a car that is transported from show to show and not driven. Dennis and Julia Verrier of Winnipeg, Manitoba are the proud owners of a trailer queen, a 35 Chevrolet Roadster which took 5 years to build.
When we went to Detroit, the first show you go to, you have to tech the car, so you have to actually get in it and drive it a little bit and back up and turn the wheels, because they want to make sure that it runs and it's drivable. and then shut it off, and then you don't have to start it for another year after that.
Their car won the Grand Champion in Toronto earlier this year. Verrier says the look of the car is important, but also the display serves a function.
You have to have a display so that you can keep the kids away from the vehicles, so the kids don't get in, and also you have to show the car properly.
He says the display costs a lot of money, but not nearly as much as it costs to have this kind of hobby.
Yeah, they're expensive. You look at these little cars go by and you think it's just a little hot rod, but quite a few of them are well in excess of $100,000, probably, yeah, and more.
This show features 80 cars that can be entered in many different categories, but each car is a labor of love. There are also car-related businesses and memorabilia stands at these shows, but the main attractions are cool cars and meeting people. Many spectators appreciate the painstaking effort and time that goes into restoring or modifying a car. But above all, it is the joy of sharing the same interests that draws people to car shows.
Actually, we come to a lot of car shows, and part of it is it's like a mini reunion for us because we know so many people that have their cars here. We've had cars in the show in the past, but we don't this year.
Building or modifying a car takes patience and help from friends and family. Randy Hedge spent 1 full year working weekends and nights to build his car.
I'm pretty fortunate I can do most of the stuff myself, and my wife does upholstery work, so she does the interior stuff for me.
Not only is his wife involved, but his whole family has enjoyed this pastime.
I have 4 daughters, and the girls that always went to all the shows with us, and I had kind of promised each one of the girls a car someday, and that's kind of what I'm working on yet. They do get to come home and use them. I just told them they couldn't have them until I was done with them someday.
Custom building a car is a popular hobby. It is fun and demanding, but while some do it for the recognition, others do it to socialize.
We've won some trophies with the cars. Our biggest trophy is when people come by and look at it and say, "Hey, I like your car," and thumbs up. That's our thing. Trophies are just something you have to dust, and they are enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but I'm here because of the people.
The next time you visit a car show to admire these classic cars in all their polished glory, remember the painstaking effort that takes place before the show. With photographer BJ Eisen, I am Elin Marin Eriksson, reporting for Studio One.
Car clubs can be found almost anywhere. The broad range of vehicles give many people the chance to specialize in a certain make or model. Making a wedding cake can be difficult unless you're prepared. Our next guest will give us tricks of the trade when it comes to making the perfect wedding cake.
The University of North Dakota's Division of Continuing Education can help you learn throughout your lifetime. Begin or continue your education through correspondence study, extended degree programs, and extension courses. For your personal or professional growth, we offer conferences as well as courses in dietary management and real estate.
We invite you to contact us at the Division of Continuing Education to discuss your learning opportunities.
Call us or look us up on the World Wide Web.
School of Engineering Minds we're kind of one close-knit community. Everybody's friendly. You're not just, a name in the crowd or a number.
I've always wanted to do engineering. What we're learning here is just hands-on.
The department has been very good about acquiring the resources we need.
I think that through this project I've gained a lot of the team-working skills, leadership.
A campus that supports a wide range of degrees gives you a nice ability to round out your education in a variety of areas.
I think the quality of education that I have received has been absolutely phenomenal.
I really believe that UND has a lot for a lot of different people.
It's a beautiful campus, it's a wonderful town, and I just really liked everything that UND offered to me.
Future a bit cloudy? Get a brighter picture at UND Aerospace and the University of North Dakota. World-class training programs endorsed by major airlines, an extraordinary fleet of aircraft, and learning facilities second to none make UND Aerospace the largest collegiate aviation program in North America. Begin your future in the aviation industry. Explore programs in space studies or computer science. Soar into the atmospheric sciences. It's all here at UND Aerospace. What's in your future? UND Aerospace, clearly the leader in aviation education.
Weddings can take many months to plan. From ordering the flowers, dress, and tuxedo, there are many details that must be taken into account. One woman has become very helpful to her family and friends on their special occasions. Cake decorator Darlene Holien will give us tips on how to make and decorate ours perfectly. Thank you for joining us today, Darlene.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, I know that you have taught yourself how to do this. So where do you get all your ideas for making cakes?
Well, I get them from magazines. There's cake books out there that you can go buy. Television. People come with pictures that they would like me to try and copy.
Okay, so it's kind of trial by error then, right? Well, then how have the styles changed over the years? I know that you can add different decorations to different cakes, and how have they changed since you've been doing it for the years?
Well, over the years, when I was first married, it was just a basic square cake. And maybe it was 3 layers, but it only stood about this high. Then they went to more elaborate ones, and now they have them with the fountains and the, what they call satellites, cakes that are set around from them. And then now they're getting back to the more simpler ones or the more elegant ones, where they aren't as elaborate as the other ones. But yeah, they're still out there.
Okay, so actually we have a picture of one that you have made, and that, do you want to explain a little bit about that style, what you've made?
Well, that's the 2 on the sides in the front there. They're called satellite cakes, and they're sitting on goblets that have been turned upside down, and there's flowers in the goblets.
Okay.
And then the there's candles on there that's lit too. That sort of adds a little bit of elegance on there too. Everybody has their own preferences to what what they want, but yeah, that's. And there's a fountain in the center. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh wow, so that's really extravagant. Then you can go from really simple to something like that. Well, you have brought a lot of stuff with you today. So do you want to go through this and just kind of tell us a little bit about what you brought?
Well, I brought some cakes, and I thought maybe, if you're going to make a cake of your own and you want it to decorate, to make it stand, you have to have it level. That's one thing that you have to be very careful.
That's one of the keys.
So I'm going to show you. I have a cake leveler, and it's got the edges on here, and I just, when it comes out of the pan, I just cut across the top of it, and that's
okay.
And then the other one is when I take it out of the pan, I can use this to level it.
Okay.
So that's one thing. So then you put it on like so, and you flip it out like this. The one thing you have to do when you flip it out, though, is you got to flip it back, because if you don't, the cut side will stick and you'll have a mess.
Is it necessary to make your cakes from scratch?
No. I use box mix.
Okay.
And a lot of people come and say, I knew it was from scratch.
Yeah.
It's so good. Well,
that one's chocolate. Are they all chocolate that you make?
No, not necessarily. A lot of them are white, but they will come and say, well, I really like chocolate, or my husband-to-be loves chocolate. Can we have chocolate? Well, I used to make 1 chocolate and 1 white. And then they'd cut them up and all the chocolate would be gone. So then, and some people can't eat chocolate, so you can't have an all chocolate cake either. So then I started making the bottom layer chocolate and the top layer white.
Okay.
And so when you cut it, then you get a little bit of each, and if you don't like one or the other, you can leave it.
So that's a creative way then to do it, to please all of your guests.
Yeah.
So then after you have the cake leveled off, then what would your next step be?
Then there's 2 ways to do it. You can frost it when it's fresh, or you can freeze it.
Okay.
Freezing it works really well, because not only can you do it ahead of time, but you can also handle it a lot easier. I'm going to move this a little bit here. And then you what they call crumb coating it.
Okay,
It's putting a layer of frosting on there and letting it set up a little bit.
Okay.
And then that holds all the crumbs in there.
Okay.
So then you take and frost it. Now I like to use a spatula that's got a kink in it, because sometimes you can get your fingers into this, and it's a sticky process, but that's the way it goes.
How do you make your frosting?
It's powdered sugar, shortening, and almond frosting, or almond flavoring.
Is it as simple to make as it sounds, with just putting those 3 together?
But the thing of it is, I taught myself, and it took a long time to get it to the consistency where you can use it to decorate with.
Okay.
When you use the tubes to decorate with, it has to be thick enough so that it stands up and it will hold its form, but you have to have the frosting so you can don't tear the cake apart.
Right.
So I'm just going to just go over to one side here and show you here.
And then after you get the frosting on, then comes the fun part of decorating it, right?
That's the fun part, yeah. And if you're a novice, and when you see these cakes that are done by professionals, the tops are smooth, the sides are all smooth, and when you get done and they aren't smooth, then you get disgusted.
Oh, yeah.
There's one way that you can sort of eliminate there. There's a side decoration that goes on the side, usually a scallop.
Okay.
And I use this little gadget, and it marks it off. I just put it in there and makes a little hole. Can you see the holes in it?
Oh, yep.
And so I go around the cake, so then they're even.
Mm-hmm.
Then after I frost it, I do the top. Now, one thing that you can do is to take, now these tips are all different. This one is a writing tip. It's just got just a plain hole in it.
Okay.
This one is a star tip. Then there's also a shell. So they make different designs. See all of these different designs here? Some of them make roses and different things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we see what?
Yeah, now this is just a writing tip. You can write on it, but you can also make it look like lace. And when you go on there, you go like this, and you just go around.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep on going. And you fill it all up. When you get all done, it does look like a lacy top.
What about the thicker ones then?
Okay, now that's the edging. I'm left-handed, so it's going to be a little bit hard here, Barry. But
well,
see,
is there any advice that you would give to someone who is interested in making their own cakes, as you did?
yes, buy a book and just practice. The more you practice, the better you're going to get.
Okay.
And same way with making the frosting.
Mm-hmm.
Practice makes perfect.
That's all you need then. We'll show the finished product here quickly.
Now see, there's the lace that I told you about.
Yep.
Okay, now if that were a single cake beside another, you could just put some flowers on there like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there you've got.
Great, great. Well, they're beautiful. Thank you, Darlene, for coming on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be right back after this.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Voller Insurance partners with you in protecting what matters most. For more than 50 years, Voller has built its reputation on its people, its clients, and a commitment to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Voller Insurance understands that the strength of its people is its greatest asset. People that tailor insurance protection that meets your needs. That's the key to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks.
Get shopping, get down to basics. Perfume, tennis shoes, dollar ring, cereals. Wearing it, using it, living it, loving it. Gotta get to it.
Everything's new in the spring at Columbia Mall. Fashions and styles, music, and anything just for fun. This spring, get shopping at Columbia Mall. We've got the stores and the styles you want.
Get shopping, Columbia. It's springtime at Columbia.
Now that NSP has become Excel Energy, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of us. In fact, we're building our business on the same values you believe in, like honesty, courtesy, and loyalty. Excel Energy. We're more than a name change. We're your new energy company.
This is our final show for the season, and we hope you'll join us again next fall.
Yes, for some more great stuff.
That's right.
We're going to leave you now with some pictures of classic cars. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great summer.